Good morning, Stitch Nation. Blaine Austin here at Stitch International. Man, I was digging that music this morning. What do y'all think about the music? That was just kind of like gets me in the mood. So, Roger, what do you think about that? Y'all say big shout out to Roger this morning.
Hey, good morning, Stitch Nation.
Roger, does that music get you in the mood?
Yeah, it fires me up every time it comes on, and I psych myself out, getting ready for the show. It's always a good time.
Yeah, I'm just like, I hear it and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Speaking of ready to go, man, we got a great show today. If everybody wanted to know about some scissors, I'm telling you what, we're going to talk about scissors, right-handed scissors, left-handed scissors, and guess what? You got to be in the scissor mafia today. Scissor mafia. That's our signs, Roger. Throwing the sign up.
I tell you, I know you're not supposed to use it for this, but the guests today, they make the best scissors for cutting fishing line, especially the serrated.
They did good for cutting anything. And I told you, I got scalded for cutting paper with some Kai scissors.
Oh yes,
wasn't real good. So, but we got Devin Head here today. He's going to be talking all about that. But before we get Devin in here, Roger.
Yes, sir.
My understanding is, did you catch a big old fish over the weekend?
Yes, I did.
Roger went fishing, y'all, and caught a massive catfish.
Yes. So I realized that compared to the Central and East Coast, it's not as big. It's a 12.6 pounder, and I know they get a lot bigger. But yes, I did go fishing and caught my best catfish.
That's a monster cat, I'm telling you.
It was definitely a good fight.
Yeah, I don't care where you're at. That's a good sized fish. So
good eating too. Good eating.
Well, congratulations on that, man. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So I tell you what, guys, we've got some great things lined up for you. So Roger, we got next Wednesday, we got Butler Robotics coming back in with Aubrey Hartman. Talk all about that. On the 29th, we have Laura Star Ironing Systems going to be here. And so that's going to be awesome because I love their ironing systems. It's got that dry, cool steam. It won't burn you. May 6th, we're not going to have a show. I think I've told y'all that before, so y'all just make a note of that. On May 6th, we won't have a show because I will be at the H&H show in Chicago. And anybody that I could have got to co-host is going to be there too. So fill in for me. So we're just not going to have a show. On May 13th, we're going to have the birthday bash.
Yes. Happy birthday, Blaine. And you know that we always throw a very good show with a lot of giveaways, so don't miss out. Blaine, who's going to be on the birthday bash?
Oh my gosh, it's huge. Angela Wolf, Joanne Banco, Jane Klaus, Reen Wilcoxon, Dawn Chase, Becky Thompson.
Such a great lineup.
Yeah, that's six heavy hitters that are awesome educators, and they're just going to come on and stop in and just say hi to everybody, and we're going to kind of check in and see what's going on in their world. And then we got some fantastic giveaways, Roger. I mean, we're going to have some sewing machines, and you notice I put machines, plural, printer, DGI printer, all kinds of good stuff. So just got to come and tune in.
Got
some more hoops.
Yes, it's going to be a great time.
It's going to be fun
at these parties. So,
and then we may play a little trivia stuff. See
Hi,
how well y'all know me and some of my guests. It's coming on, and so we got to figure all that out, Roger.
Yes, it'll be fun regardless of what we do. We always have a great time, and Joanne.
Yeah, I see Joanne on you. Hey, Joanne. Well,
happy birthday,
my
Paula.
birthday was yesterday. Paula Becker. Congratulations, Paula, and happy birthday. Love your prizes, Shirley Chaplin. Well, hey, let me say a shout out before we get too deep in the show. And then we got a little video we're going to show y'all real quick of somebody sent in to us. But I got to say good morning to Paula Becker. Paula is up in Indiana this morning. Hey, we got Georgette M watching. We have Linda Jacobs from California watching. We have Sue, I think it's Minking here in Missouri. She's like right down the road from us, Farmington. I think it's where Sue lives. We have Eartha Lewis in Louisiana. So good morning, Eartha. We have Pammy J watching this morning. So hey, Pammy. We got Pam Barrett in Ohio watching. And then we have Jocelyn Willett watching. Jane Tito up in Rhode Island. And then we have Beth Small up in Ohio. So good morning, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. So we got a video sent to us by our good friend, Cindy King. And Cindy, as y'all know, she won I think a jean jacket, one of the shows. And she said, hey, y'all just redraw, give it to somebody else. I want to pass it forward. Well, she did that again. She won another jacket and she did that again, but Roger and I didn't see it in the chat. So we sent her a jacket anyway, but I think she's glad she kept it because she sent us a video of it. So Roger, play that video of Cindy.
Oh. Guess what? A package came in from Stitch It International. I know what it is. This is the second time I got picked for a jean jacket. I tried to get it back to pay forward again, but they wouldn't pay attention on my text. So I guess I was supposed to have one. Let's look at it and see what it looks like. Always be careful when you're opening a package with a box knife because you don't know how somebody might have packaged it and you may be cutting the top of your item. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love it. Crazy sewing lady. That is me. Thank you, Stitch It. Stitch It Nation.
That is awesome. Thank you, Cindy, for sending it in. So if y'all win something and you want to take a picture or a quick video, do it. Send it to info@stitchitintl.com and we'll put it on the air. We would love to see when you win stuff. And hey, we would still love to just see your sewing rooms. If y'all want to take a quick video and show us your little sewing room, or if you want to take pictures, do that. Send it to us. And we would love to share that with everybody else in the Stitch Nation. So thank you, Cindy, for doing that. That was awesome. That made me laugh, Roger. That was pretty funny.
She's so cute, right?
Yes. You know,
I'm glad
she's a crazy sewing lady. I love it. So anyway, we got the dates all done. We're going to have some giveaways today, guys. So if y'all want to win, easy. All you have to do is either make comments, ask questions, and you'll automatically be entered to win. We'll do some drawings at the end of the show. And then, so we got some great things today. And, we got a little special giveaway from Kai Scissors today too at the end of the show. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned for that. But hey, we got to get the show rolling. And so Devin Head, I think he's the regional sales manager for Kai Scissors. And I can't remember how long Devin has been there, but he's been there for about 10 years, I think. Is that right? Yeah, 10 years. So y'all make a big Stitch Nation welcome to Devin Head. Hey, Devin.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
Doing all right. Oh, man, I'm actually getting over a cold. So this is, this early morning in the West Coast. This is a little rough, but I think I'll get there.
Well, thank you for getting up early and coming on the show. And I tell you what, we're, I think everybody here is big, Kai Scissors fans. And if they haven't ever used them and haven't been around them, you're going to enlighten them today. And I know that, man, these things, I love the scissors. I've been, I've used Kai Scissors for many, many years, and they're just a good quality. And a lot of people don't know this, and you can expand on this a little bit, but y'all make one heck of a knife as well. Like
yeah. I'll probably cover that right at the end, but
yeah.
And
when I'm saying knives, I'm talking about like, hunting knives and things like pocket knives, things that I would use.
Yeah.
I've actually used one of those, and man, I tell you what, the blade quality on it is unbelievable, just like your scissors. So
Yeah,
we're super excited about that. But I know y'all, have a lot more things other than scissors. And then, and what's great about it, a lot of scissor companies don't have left-handed scissors.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
and so
or they have one variation of lefties, and
yeah. So that's one thing, and I hope you'll talk a little bit about that today too, because I'm sure we got some lefties out there. But hey, Devin, we're gonna let you take it away, and I'll come back here at the end. And guys, if y'all want to hold your questions, Devin and I will do a Q&A at the end of his presentation, and that way we can try to answer all the questions for you. But Devin, take it away.
Yeah, well, I've already seen that there's been a comment like, yay, lefties. So I know that you're out there. So welcome. We'll get to that in a minute. But as Blaine was saying, I've been with the company for 10 years. I've been doing this a little bit longer because I actually started out in North Carolina. I was working at the YMCA, and I had a little boy on the way. And we were, thinking of a name to name him. And we decided on Kai. And I happened to call a guy out here who owned a sewing and vacuum store. And he had recently sold that, and so he was a friend of mine. So I just told him about what was going on, and he said, "I've actually sold this, but I'm buying the scissor company, and it's all we sell is Kai scissors." And I said, "Well, the Y doesn't pay enough. I need to get hooked up with you." And now I've been working with him for about 11 years. But yeah, I started out in North Carolina doing trade shows and seeing the people out there, and eventually got hired on and joined them. But enough about me. Let's talk about Kai. Kai is a Japanese company. They've been around for over 115 years in Japan. They've been in the United States around 30 to 40 years now. And they're just known for making high quality scissors, high quality steel that's going to hold up for a long time and keep its edge. It's not to say that it's never, ever going to get dull on you, because nothing is forever. But it is to say that compared to the competition, they're definitely going to hold up better for any kind of fabric scissors you have out there. Something I like to talk about in these discussions, and they gave me about 30 to 40 minutes, so I hope I can squeeze it in. I've noticed as I get older, I tend to take a little longer to say everything. But where I like to start is kind of highlight what you are looking for when you're looking for a pair of scissors, because Kai does not have everything that you might want. We have a lot of variation. We have all kinds of different tools. And as he highlighted, we even have things that are outside the scope of scissors and sewing. But when you go and look at that other brand of scissor for maybe that duckbill scissor that you're looking for, what is it that you should be looking for? What qualities are you looking for in that scissor that's going to make it worth your money? And so I want to highlight that first. The main thing, the number one thing, whenever you're picking a scissor, is going to be the steel that it's made out of. Most times, the steel that is coming out of Japan or out of Germany, those are going to be your best options as far as a good quality steel that's going to hold its edge for longer, and also be able to be resharpened. I know that America has has amazing steel. Cutco makes some awesome stuff that will cut through pennies and things like that, but it's a much harder process to get that kind of stuff sharpened. You have to deal with them directly, but it's just a harder metal, and so it's going to take more work to get it back in shape once it loses its edge. But the beauty of these German and Japanese steels is that they are really hard, but also they are easily resharpened. Any local sharpener can do it. Even doing a pull-through method on most cases is going to be able to freshen up that edge and keep it sharp. And so it's kind of a really nice balance between super hard and the ability to sharpen it. It is a little trickier these days to identify that steel, though. You might have to do a little research online because even with our brands, some of our scissors are still made with that Japanese steel, but the production has moved to Vietnam, just because they don't have the younger population working in the factories anymore. And so we had to move some of the production over there, but it's still made with our steel. So you're still getting the same quality steel scissors that you would have gotten when it was made in the Japanese factories. But with that being said, our professional lines are made with a really, really hard steel. It's a high carbon stainless steel. And these guys are the plan forever to be made in Japan, just because they are the professional line and more exclusive kind of scissor. The other thing to look for on a pair of scissors is that pivot. So when you're looking at a pair of scissors, pair of scissors, right there in the middle is that connection point, that little pivot where the scissor rotates around. And people do this in lots of different ways. One of the ways that's most common is a rivet. So just this, I don't know if we can highlight, there we go. That little rivet right there, and it looks like a screw. It's all deceptive. It's just a rivet. So when you want to loosen or tighten that kind of thing, you just tap on it with a hammer, and that will loosen it up. Or if you put it over a gap or a space where it can kind of float over that gap, and you tap on that screw head, that'll help separate it a little bit. Rivets are fine for little scissors, but they are not ideal for bigger scissors. As you get into bigger scissors, you want something that you can adjust, that can be manipulated a little bit more, something that has nuts on there. So our professional line has a lock nut as well as its tension nut on there. So one to give you the tension, the other one to hold it in place so it doesn't loosen up on you. As opposed to our 5000 series, these guys just have a regular nut on there. The beauty of that is it makes it easy for you at home if you wanted to adjust it. But also, if you're noticing that maybe it folds the fabric and it's just feeling too loose, you can go ahead and tighten that up and get them back to where they're supposed to be, which will help make it more comfortable and last longer for you, not have to worry about smacking your scissors with a hammer. But yeah, it's a nice, easy way to maintain your scissors and do it yourself, which is good. The other thing that we have on our scissors is these little washers. I don't know if you can see around that rivet or that nut there. But there's that washer right there. And what that washer is basically a spring washer. How scissors work is you have two blades that push up against each other, and the action of sliding against each other's face shears the material there. So that's why we get the name shears in some of these bigger sizes, is because you have two pieces of metal cutting across each other, pushing off of each other, creating a shearing effect. Most of the time, what they'll do is they'll put a little bit of bend in that scissor so that the tips always make contact, but they're pushing off each other as they go by. So there's always that tension at the tips, always making tension across the blades. But what that does is if you don't have something like a spring washer, or you have a company that uses really nice steel like ours, but they don't pay attention to that extra little detail, you're going to find that it is really crunchy, or it is really hard to open and close and be able to cut, right? So you can loosen that up on some other brands, but it's not going to cut because it's not making the proper amount of connection or enough tension between those two blades. What the spring washer allows is a little bit of play at the bottom. So they can move a little bit, they can have a little bit of give at the bottom without having to bend these big metal blades the whole way through the cut. And so that's just, again, a way that's going to make it more comfortable for you. It's something to keep an eye on when you're getting them. Just how does it feel in your hand? How does it feel to open and close? Is it comfortable? Does it feel like I'm fighting the scissor? All good things to do. I will highlight, in most of our product packaging, it is easy to get our scissors in and out of them. So if you ever were to see these on a shelf somewhere, you go ahead and just slide the card right out of the back there. You can get the scissor out, give it a try, make sure it fits your hand, and make sure it feels good to you. And if it doesn't, again, we have the ability to adjust it. You can put a little wrench on the back there, so if you wanted to loosen it up, you can. But the other reason you would want to get it out is, again, to make sure that it fits in your hand. Our scissors do come in a variety of different sizes of handles and things like that. So this one obviously is quite a bit smaller. It's a little more universal of an actual handle here. So the thumb hole is not really biased one way or the other on this particular scissor, whereas this one is definitely biased. It's got a thumb hole that kind of comes in at an angle, a specific angle. It doesn't allow, a lefty, if they were to put their thumb in there, would be putting their thumb sideways, as opposed to the alternative, which is allowing the thumb to come straight forward or towards the scissor, towards the direction that you're cutting. So finding one that fits your hand for the thumb hole, or also one that fits your hand for the finger holes, is very important to know. It's important to try if you can. That's why I want to encourage you guys. If you come and see us at a show, come see us. If you see them in a store, try and get them off the wall and get them in your hand. These ones, as you'll see, are a little bit tighter so not as much finger room. I tend to like to leave my pinky out anyway, so I for some whatever reason, I gravitate to this size. But we also make scissors that have a nice little rest up front. So if you're the kind of person that likes to put that finger up front and hold your scissor like that, we make them that way as well. You'll notice that on our black handled scissors, that's not really a function that they have emphasized. The black handled ones for us are a little more flat on the inside of the hole there, as opposed to the colored handled ones are a little bit more of a curve, a bend around there. So again, it's important just to get it in your hand, try it out, see what fits you and what works right for you. The next thing, since I'm already talking about thumb holes, is lefties versus righties. What's the difference? Why are lefties so difficult? why what's the challenge there, and what should they be looking out for? And also, if you're a right-handed person, I know we all know that left-handed person that needs a pair of scissors and they've been using right-handed their whole lives. So maybe this is your opportunity to kind of look into it, or maybe even point them in the right direction. So at Kai, as Blaine mentioned, we do have some options for lefties. We don't have a ton. I'm a lefty myself. And so I wish there was more, but we do have 3 scissors made for lefties with each of them with their own kind of differences. All of our smaller scissors are ambidextrous handles. The holes on there are going to be not biased one way or the other. And even our 7000 series, for the most part, is not really biased one way or the other with that thumb hole. So again, not going to bother you too much. This is actually my favorite pair of scissors. Even though I'm a lefty, this is a right-handed pair of scissors. I love it. It fits my thumb. And again, I like to keep my pinky out for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm different. All right, but let's talk about lefties specifically. So there's kind of 2 different lefties to discuss. A lot of companies will have what we call the true lefty. So this is a left-handed handle on a left-handed handle on a left-handed pair of scissors. So it's going to fit your hand. It's really nice. You know, it fits comfortably. Your thumb gets to go in there naturally, as opposed to using that right-handed thumb hole, where your thumb goes directly sideways and is quite uncomfortable. Does not get to go forward like would be a more natural design there. The other part of it is the bottom blade on the left-handed pair of scissors is on the inside of my body. So as I'm holding the scissors and I open it up and close it, this is underneath my material and allows me to see exactly where I'm cutting. If you don't understand why this is a big deal, most of the time we grow up using a right-handed pair of scissors where the top blade is on the inside of our body and the bottom blade is underneath. And so this top blade, as it's cutting, blocks our view, so I can't see the line that I'm trying to cut. And so we make a few adjustments using a right-handed pair of scissors. One of those is to hold it across our body or move our head across the scissor so we can see where we're cutting, which is quite unnatural, but some of us can't break it, myself included. We hold the scissor across our body and try and compensate for not being able to see. And then the other thing that happens on a right-handed pair of scissors is that when I naturally put my hand into this thumb hole here, this pushes across the scissor and pulls this bottom blade away from the other blade, which then causes the fabric or whatever we're cutting to not want to cut because my blades are moving away from each other. They're naturally just being pulled away from each other. So what we learn to do is we put our thumb in there and we crank down. We pull that thumb in, pulling that thumb back in towards the scissor. But now we're pulling these blades together, which helps to maintain contact throughout the cut and make it easier to cut. The issue is we learned and trained on the wrong scissor. And so then when we get a true lefty that we're really excited about, it doesn't work for us. We have to adjust our brain to cutting the natural way so we can see where we cut, which, easily done with enough practice, not too bad. But the thing that we struggle with most is that we want to pull in with our thumb. Our whole life, we've used that motor function of pulling in and keeping those blades pressured together. All of a sudden, on a true lefty, this handle goes in toward the scissor, which causes the blade to come away from the other blade. So a scissor that's made for us starts to not cut for us. And what do we do when we notice that it's not cutting? We really start to squeeze, and we cause the problem to be even worse. So with Kai, when you guys come see me at a show or buy from somebody else, what we typically will do is people will want the true lefty, and I will sell it to them. And I say, if it doesn't work for you, give us a call. We'll exchange it for the left-handed handle on the right-handed pair of scissors, which is this guy right here, so that you're happy, right? We don't want you to buy a pair of scissors just out of principle because it's true lefty and it's made for me. We want to make one that is specifically designed for you, one that works with your hand and the way that you've been trained to cut your whole life. But with enough practice, like I said before, you can get used to something like this. Don't fight the scissor. Learn not to squeeze and pull in with your thumb. Just let it cut naturally, and it'll do a great job for you. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about some specialty scissors that we have here at Kai, and maybe some that we don't have at Kai. And as I highlighted before, one of the big ones that we don't have is going to be that duckbill scissor. We do sell a double curve scissor, so it does have a similar shape and function to that, but we don't have that big old bill off the side of the scissor here, that little hoop on the side. A scissor like that is really nice for laying flat on top of a surface and maintaining a constant angle and distance from your seam if you're cutting away appliques and things like that. The reason we don't have it is Kai Japan thinks that this design is a little bit better in that it gives you more versatility. You can use this for embroidery. You can use it for applique. You can use it on the back of your quilt. And what we do have here is kind of a bent tip. We do have bent tips in a couple different models. We have them in little 4-inch scissors. We have them in ones that are 5.5, more like this guy with a curved bend on there. But again, what that bent tip lets you do is, again, lay right on top of the surface and cut away any thread or fabric that you're trying to get to. It does, without having that bill on there, does require a little more precision from you, the user, just because it's, doesn't have that nice flat stable surface that like a duckbill would have. But if you did need to get really tight to a seam, it's going to allow you to do that a lot better. Or if you're needing to get into little tiny jump stitches and things like that, we do have these really, really fine points on there. And so they're going to do a great job. Some other things that we have to highlight, maybe different than what you might have in your sewing room, is going to be what we call our bent scissors. These guys might be the ones that you see at your local sewing store when they got that little groove and they want to cut you out, your yards of fabric. They put it in that groove and it cuts right along, nice and easy. The idea with this scissor is that it doesn't lift up your cutting blade as high as maybe a regular scissor would. So something like this. If I open that scissor up to use the whole blade, this really lifts up and moves things around. As opposed to this, which rides along the table, does not lift up nearly as high, and kind of keeps things from shifting as you're cutting. So if you're cutting out a pattern or you're cutting that straight line, it wants to just glide across the table. It takes some of the weight off your wrist. If you're having wrist issues, it lets the table take the scissor instead of you having to hold the scissor. And it just does a beautiful job of keeping things from moving on you. So a great, great tool for cutting out patterns and things like that. Another thing that I always like to highlight is serrated scissors. Serrated scissors is kind of a growing market recently. Like, it's been something that's been going on since the 70s for sure. And I think they highlighted a lot around knits and things like that. But nowadays, we kind of sell this for a little bit of everything. Any kind of fabric that wants to slide on you. Oh, maybe I'll come around the computer here and show that. Let's see if we can get that serration showing up there. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it, but what's going on there, instead of having that really, really smooth blade, is on just one of the blades, we have these basically little teeth. They're little bumps. And so as the fabric is on there, this sharp blade comes and cuts across that bumpy surface. And what that bumpy surface does is just add friction so things don't move around. So if you're going to be doing things for making clothes and stuff like that, where you're going to be using minky material or knits or silks, any kind of fabrics that really like to slide away when you're trying to cut it. That serration helps hold the fabric in place so it doesn't move around. The easiest way I highlight this in my booth is I give them a piece of silk and I say, just cut a curve. All right. And so as you're cutting that curve, the silk does not like to be cut very much. It tends to want to push and move around as you're trying to cut it. But by cutting a curve, you really get a feel for, is this cutting where I want it to cut as opposed to where it's letting me cut. And so with a serration on there, you'll notice it goes exactly where you want it to be. It gives you that nice tight curve you're looking for. Does a great job for you. And then all of a sudden I'll hand you a regular smooth scissor, really sharp. And you'll kind of notice that it's cutting a wide curve. It's like it's drifting around a corner almost. That it's kind of just cutting as it lets you cut, not where you want to cut. And so a serrated scissor is really nice to have. It's a very useful tool to have. It will cut everything. We use it on everything from carbon fiber to and Kevlar to your silks, and it can even work on cottons and things like that too, right? It's still going to give you a straight cut. It's not like a pinking shear, which we also offer. It's not a pinking shear where it's going to give you that zigzag cut. It is just a straight cut, but it adds friction, so it holds things in place. And so we do sell these in different sizes. We have these guys in the purple set. You might see that highlighted around, and I think even on the intro card for the show today, they were highlighting the three-piece set that we sell of these guys. But the other nice thing about it is that a lot of these scissors, we've grown our catalog and added serration to. So if you don't like those particular sizes, or you don't like the way that this fits your hand, you can ask for those to be serrated. And it's something that we can do in-house and add serration to it. Find the scissor that you like, and we can get the job done for you. All right. The last thing for the scissor side of things, as far as highlighting the items, is going to be our 7000 series. I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but that is our top of the line. It's a high carbon stainless steel, as I highlighted before, but there's a couple other features going on here that might not be super obvious. Kind of touched on the fact that we have a locking nut on this guy, so it should not loosen up or tighten on you over time without you actively being the one that loosens or tightens it with a wrench or something like that. The other thing is it has a coating on here. So by moving from the hardened stainless steel that we have on our 5000 series, they gave up a little bit of the rust resistance, right? In turn, as a trade-off for getting extra strength in the steel. But what they did is they went ahead and put a coating on these blades to help with that. The added benefit of that coating is that it is perfectly smooth on the inside of the blade here. So you might pick up one of these guys and think that it feels really nice and really smooth and feels good. But grabbing one of these 7000 series, it's just like butter. When I first started with the company, I had some guys over for the Super Bowl, and I said, I know you guys don't care at all about this, but you need to try it. Like, it's just different. They are so sharp and so smooth, and they just really are a beast that you need to try out for yourself. The other thing going on here beyond, oh, thank you for the quote. Yeah. The quote's pretty awesome. That was a gift that somebody made for us, knowing that we're from the Seattle area. So maybe I'll highlight that. Someone made a comment that they loved the quote behind me. That was a gift. Yeah, just knowing that we're from the Seattle area, they gave us a little, eagles out by the ocean kind of thing, and super nice of them. Anyway, all right, back to this guy. Getting distracted. The other added benefit of having a harder steel on these guys is that the blades themselves are actually at a steeper angle. And maybe I should highlight this. This is a kind of, that might rub some people the wrong way. Having a steeper angle on the blade makes it so it cuts a lot easier for you, which is good most of the time. So when you get a softer steel like this with a really, really sharp edge, you might see them out there labeled as knife edge scissors or something like that, razor edge scissors, something with, catchy title. What's going on there is they have taken that blade from like a 30-degree angle, maybe even a 25 to 30 is pretty standard for a hardened stainless steel, and drop that down to like a 43 to 45-degree angle, really, really steep. When you first get that scissor, it is going to cut amazingly. It's really thin blades there, sharp edge, like a knife. It's just going to feel amazing. The issue is with that soft steel having that really, really thin edge is that it is going to wear down a lot more quickly. So a scissor that would traditionally, like these guys, will last you 7-10 years as long as you're not cutting a pin. You take this guy and you give it a 45-degree angle, and you're down to 1 to 2 years on something like this. And so by steepening up that angle without having a steel that can handle it, looks fun on the surface, but it is a headache in the long run in that you're just going to have to go and get that thing resharpened over and over again. And so something to keep in mind is that if you're going to pay the money to have a really, really steep, sharp angle on that scissor, better be paying for the steel that can handle it. And so that's what's going on here. We haven't steepened them up to a 45-degree angle. They're more at around a 40-degree angle on that blade. Again, they're trying to do the best they can for you. They're not trying to do the best they can for themselves to say, "Ooh, look how sharp we made our scissors," right? We want to make a sharp scissor with a hard metal that's going to last. So these guys are going to last about 10 to 15 years. Is pretty common for me to hear. I have heard people say that it's been 20 years or more. And then at that point, I'm just asking, are they even using them? So these guys are very strong, very durable scissor. They do come in little tiny sizes from the 4-inch. And what I like about this particular 4-inch is we got bigger finger holes. These guys, they're fine for most ladies. They do not work for men most of the time. They're just little tiny finger holes. They finally on the 7000 series gave us a bigger finger hole, which is really, really nice. And they're talking about cutting at the end, at the intro to the show about cutting fishing line. I tend to sell these guys with a serrated edge on them for cutting fishing line. Really, really useful, nice, pretty compact scissor. It's really good for something like that, or cutting fire line or cutting your threads or whatever you need it for. Just a high quality scissor made to fit most hands, which is a really nice bonus because again, Kai does not always play to the larger finger hole crowd. We tend to, coming out of Japan, they make small finger holes, and works for me because I keep that pinky out. I don't know, I'm weird. But yeah, we make them all the way up to, we have the 10-inch lefty here that I came to show. We make them all the way up to a 12-inch, so 2 inches longer here. Something to note between the 10 and 9-inch in the professional is actually the blade length is exactly the same. There is no difference in blade length between these two. So if I line up those pivots, they're the same blade length. The main difference between these two is going to be that handle. So if you are trying to decide what size should I get, I wish, should I go to the 10? A little bit bigger would be nice. It's actually not any bigger. It's just a bigger finger hole. So if you have bigger hands, give these guys a go. If you don't, you're not missing out on anything by getting the smaller scissor. It's just the one that's going to fit your hand better. So pretty nice. All right. Last thing to note before I get into all that Kai does beyond the scissors is to talk about the care for your scissors. It is a huge, huge deal in my mind, being as I do a lot of sharpening. So I know that I'm the regional sales manager for Kai Scissors. That's a title that really highlights that I travel and do the trade shows and stuff like that. But I don't do that all the time. Obviously, I come back here to our warehouse and I get put to work. So one of the things that I do is I do sharpening and I do a lot of the serrating of the scissors. So I care about you taking care of them because that means I don't have so much work waiting for me when I get back from a show. So one of the easiest ways to take care of your scissors is to get a cap for them. Get some kind of cover, some way to keep them closed, some way to protect them, to protect you. A cap for your scissors is just an easy thing that anyone could do. I see that people will make their own. I see that people have cut up like surgical tubing and will shove that on the end. At our shows or online, we do sell these little caps that go just about on everything. So they'll go on our big scissors, they'll go on our little 4-inch scissors, and they'll stay on there. Right, good little tool to have. We also do make little ones for a lanyard, I should say, for the little ones. So if you are at your sewing machine and you want to keep it on you, you don't want to have to worry like what pile did it end up under or did it fall in my garbage can. We do sell lanyards of those as well. But yes, all of our colored handle scissors. So these berry colors, the blue, the serrated purple scissors. They all come with covers on them. They come with that fitted blade cap, I should say. Really nice, useful tool to have. Why it's so important is kind of the same reason that you don't just leave a knife laying out in the drawer, right? You don't leave it laying around in the drawer to get rattled around and knock into other things. Even the simple act of having your blades come apart and then bump into something allows these two blades to kind of knock into each other and create a little bit of a contact or a nick in the blade there. So by putting the cap on there, it keeps those tips closed so that they won't knock into each other. So they won't knock into other scissors and get those nicks in them just by nature of being in a drawer or in your bag or whatever it is. So tip covers is my number one easy tip for taking care of your scissors. The next thing is going to be cleaning your scissors. Keeping those scissors clean, keeping dust and things off of the scissors, getting that little bit of grime that builds up back here cleaned off is going to help them last a lot longer. Something I didn't mention about our particular brand of scissors, and even most scissors, let's be real, is that the inside of the blade here is ever so slightly beveled. So we didn't talk about this, but there's kind of a bowl shape there, and that's really so that the blades only make contact on the edges and not across this big flat surface. Again, just cut down on friction. But what that bowl creates is a little pocket for things to get captured in. And so I'll be doing a show, and over the course of a week or a weekend, people are picking up and using the scissors all day, cutting all kinds of different fabrics, and it builds up little fibers on these blades that you can't even really see. And so someone will pick up a scissor, they'll come up to it and be like, "Ooh, you might want to put this one back because it is feeling a little rough." And so I'll grab that scissor from them. I'll rub my fingers across the blades there, just kind of getting off whatever fibers on there. I suggest that if you're doing it, you take a cloth where you come from behind and underneath the blade, right? We don't want to come over the top of the blade. We want to come from underneath the blade. And I just clean it off and I say, there you go. Right? I don't even try it out. I don't even try and see what's going on with the blade, because 99% of the time it's just that they have a little bit of buildup on there. So I'll hand them back to them and they're like, "Oh, wow, yeah, these feel great." And that's the reason, is they have that little bowl shape in there and they're going to collect little fibers. I'm sorry, something's in my eye. The other thing will happen is, again, that little connection point there, that little crack there, is moving and rotating and allowing things to get in there. And so people will ask me, should I use some kind of lubrication on my scissors? Be putting something on there just so that there's less friction as they get older and stuff like that. And my general answer is no, you don't need to do that. It shouldn't be an issue for you, as far as it doesn't need the lubrication to move. They're two pieces of nice smooth steel, so there's not going to be any kind of real friction there. The issue is the gunk and stuff that builds up in there. So if you have the ability to take these apart, take that little nut off of there, I would suggest that you do it. It's the best way to get it cleaned out. But if you don't, it's completely understandable. You can go ahead and try and put a little bit of sewing machine oil or put some rubbing alcohol in there and kind of let it feed through there. Kind of let it flush out any fibers and gunk that's in there. Then go ahead afterward, after you're seeing stuff getting out, wipe down in those little cracks there, get that cleaned out, top and bottom side, both sides. Again, as I mentioned, as you open the scissor, more surface area shows. So kind of clean it and wipe it at all different angles. That way you're getting as much out of there as you can. That is going to be the number one way to make sure your scissors last longer and feel smooth for a long, long time. The final step of caring for your scissors is going to be sharpening. People ask me, all right, how often should I get them sharpened? And the answer is always, it depends on you. What are you cutting? Are you cutting just cotton? If you're cutting just cotton, man, you're going to be good for a really long time. If you're cutting, some polar fleece, well, that's actually a plastic, and that's going to, you need something to cut it. So you got to use your scissors to do it, or maybe buy another pair if you wanted something specifically for that. But polar fleece is a plastic, and so it's going to wear down faster than just cutting your natural fibers would. Cutting paper, or your husband cuts some cardboard with it. Again, these things are all going to do different kinds of damage and wear and tear on those scissors. And so your timeline is going to be different. For most of my industrial customers who are using these day in and day out, and they have factory workers that are using them every single day, every year they're going to need them sharpened, maybe 2 years if they're lucky, because they are just being put through the ringer every single day. They come back to us with all kinds of gunk and like glues and things on them. So someone like that, for sure, they're going to need to do it every year and just keep it as a part of their business model of send them in every year just to keep it going. As a sewer, someone doing quilting and stuff like that, the moment that you should send it in is the moment that you notice you have an issue. Again, most of the time it's going to be 7+ years for any of our scissors. But if you hit a needle, a pin, something like that, that's going to put a nick in it right then and there. And so it's time to get it done. Or maybe you emphasize one spot on your blade a lot. So if you're doing lots of thicker materials, you tend to lean towards cutting towards the inside of that scissor where you have the most leverage. That's going to wear out the fastest. And, maybe you can move down farther on your blade and try and use that to make it go longer. But if that's where you use on the blade and where you need it, that's time to get it sent in. A lot of people tend to use the tips the most because you're doing little kinds of trimming. Just right there at the end, you always close the scissor. It always makes contact with the other edge. They're always rubbing against each other right there over and over and over again. You notice that it's not cutting all the way to the end anymore, or that it starts to just tear a little bit, or it grabs the fabric a little bit like it did before. That's the time to get it sent in. If you have the ability to kind of hone like you would on a knife and maybe smooth that out, you can buy yourself a little bit more time. But our recommendation with any of our scissors is to send them into a professional. So if you have someone local that you trust, you can send them into them. Like I highlighted before with that Japanese and German steel, it's really easy to resharpen. It's nothing that's going to blow them away or be something they can't do. A local sharpener will definitely be able to handle our scissors. But if you don't have somebody, we do have the option of sending them into us. It's $10 per pair, and that covers the sharpening and the shipping back to you. So just something to keep in mind, especially if you're buying serrated scissors. Serrated scissors have that little groove on there, and a lot of times sharpeners will go ahead and just sharpen the non-serrated side, and that'll get you by for a while. But eventually, you might need to get that serration redone. And as I highlighted before, we do have the ability to do that. No extra charge for it. Still $10 covers the sharpening and shipping back to you. All right, we're going to jump into my final little segment here of what else Kai has to offer. Kai is they are a company that makes over 10,000 products. They are found in companies that you wouldn't expect. Anywhere you see blades and things like that, they have a foothold in it, right? They do razor blades, they do all kinds of stuff. One of my main things that I like to bring to shows is always a surprise seller, and that people love and have grown to love, especially over the last couple of years, is our fingernail clippers. We have a bunch of different models, but what sets these apart again is going to be that quality of steel. These guys are our toenail clippers. They have a straight edge on there. They're quite large, actually. So most people are pretty surprised when they see these guys of how big they are. But I know that some people do have bigger, thicker toenails, and so we do have a nice wide opening there for people that need that. This is going to be our medium size here, so a little bit smaller, not too different in width there. Sorry, this is not highlighting very well, but not too different in width, but it does have that curved end on there. And then we do make one size smaller. I didn't bring it out here. But the beauty of these guys is that, again, Kai pays attention to details. They've added things on here, like a little grip on there for your thumb to hold it. We have a little file on this one on top. If you cut them and you want to get those little loose ends off. On this model, it has it on the bottom there. The other thing that's going on is this black cover on here. So we have the clear one on this one. We have one with a pink one. This cover on here does come off. And so if you don't like having it in the way, you can remove it or take it off when you need to empty it. But basically what this cover does is allows you to cut the nails and not have them go flying everywhere. So it kind of cuts the nail and lets it stay inside the cutter. So you don't have to chase those and wonder where it went. But again, These guys are amazing. I've had one for over, I guess we're going on 8 years now, similar to this model. A fantastic tool that they make. I just see somebody putting out the next part here. We do make rotary cutters. I have had so many people come up to me over the years. They've been like, oh man, I've had my Kais for 20 years and absolutely love them. But when did you guys start selling rotary cutters? We have been selling rotary cutters for probably that long. They didn't always come in this blue. Some people actually have these guys in red, which was a Fondant Porter exclusive that they got to carry. Yeah, we have these guys in blue. We've had these ones for as long as I've been around. So we're looking at over 11 years on this one. But we've had a tan model that has a cap on it instead of this lock. We have a lock on ours back here. This little bar back there locks it. We've had those guys for as long as they've been in the U.S., I'm sure. The idea with our particular rotary cutter is that they have this ability to not have the blade be out until you're actually using it. So that back, as I showed you before, was a lock. I just moved that to the side. The blade's still not out until you actually push down on whatever material you're trying to cut. So this is spring loaded, and it will get out of the way as you're going to cut. It'll get out of the way in any direction. It's lefty and right-handed, left-handed, right-handed. What am I trying to say? It's good for both. It's good for your left or right hand, or if you got that friend that comes over and you got that ones with a bent angle on there, which are really nice ergonomically. I personally like that design a lot, but not as nice when you want to hand it to that left-handed person that you're working with. They got to take the blade off and put it on the other side, and now they can work with it and they give it back to you, and you're going to move it back to the other side. The other really nice thing about our rotary cutter is that it's really simple. There's no like springs or washers or things that are going to get you hung up when you take it and change the blade, right? You just take it apart, take that nut off, pull the two pieces apart, and put on a new blade. Put the blade on there. Oh, I should highlight too, we just have a circular shape on the inside. So the blade itself has a little notch in there, which will fit most other cutters. But our shape on the inside is just a circle. So if you have your Fiskars, your Olfa, your other brands of blades, that will work on our cutter. The one drawback to ours that I will mention, because I don't know, I'm not a great salesperson. I'm an honest salesperson, and so you'll say that's a great salesperson, is that with this design, it's not great for those strip rulers. So if you have that stripology type of thing where you have the little gap in the ruler, you got to fit the blade in between that gap. This guard kind of gets in the way. So you'll want the bigger one if you do decide to go with it. This is a 60 millimeter. We sell them in 45, and then in that tan version I was talking about with a cap on it, not the lock, we have that in the 28. So not the best if you're going to be doing those strip rulers, but if you're someone who forgets to close your blade, great option. As we were talking about in the intro to the show, Kai also does knives. We do kitchen knives. So if you've ever heard of Shun, S-H-U-N or Shun knives, that is a Kai company. We also have our own Kai branded knives as well. You can look on our website and see many options that we have, from like big chopping cleavers to little paring knives to fruit knives to just about anything you can imagine. We have most all of them for the kitchen and home kitchen uses. We even sell potato peelers and things like that. So again, if you go to our site, kaiscissors.com, you'll find all kinds of things you maybe didn't expect that we had. The last thing to highlight is, as Blaine mentioned, we do have pocket knives and things like that too. So those guys are all going to be under the name of Kershaw or Zero Tolerance. Kershaw is the one that most people are familiar with. There are more budget-friendly knife. I mean, you're still looking at over $100 for most of the knives. But they're really functional. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and ones that are really for aesthetic because they look cool, and others that are really good for form and function, things like that as well. Really, really good company that's been around for a long time. They've done some special work with other knife makers out there and have some unique lines with them. But our flagship knife company is going to be Zero Tolerance, and those guys are made with super high quality steel, really, really good bearings on the opening and closing mechanisms for them. Just an all around beefy, utilitarian, like good knives. I mean, they have some unique designs on some of them as well, but it's all about quality with those guys. And so, you're not going to wonder, is this made, out of a great steel or just a good steel? No, it's always going to be a great steel on every single one of those knives. And so, yeah, I think that's probably a good place for me to stop. And I think I probably overdid it, but we'll get Blaine back in here. Oh, and I guess I did pull this to the side. We have gift sets. And I know at the end of this, we're going to be doing a giveaway, or Blaine will be doing a giveaway for a 3-piece professional set. So I hope you stick around for that. Oh,
Great job, Devin. Hey,
thank you.
so I want to open it up for a Q&A now. If anybody's got any questions for Devin before we let him get out of here, go ahead and put it in the chat right now, and he'll try to answer that. But, Devin, something I forgot that y'all did was the nail clippers. But
yeah,
also, don't y'all make like hair cutting scissors and stuff, correct?
Yeah. So with the knives and the hair cutting side, we, in particular, being Kai Scissors, we get access from Japan for the fabric cutting scissors side of things. We do get a small window into their kitchen knives. We've kind of cultivated that, but really that's Kai USA in Oregon, who has just about everything for them on the knife side of thing. And then there's their hair cutting scissors under the brand of Kasho, and so there's a company in Texas that has access to that. So every once in a while, we'll get a call from Kai Japan, and they'll say, "Hey, we have these items sitting here. Are you interested in buying them?" We're like, "Yes, please send them." So every once in a while, we'll have hair cutting scissors. We don't always have the hair cutting scissors, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was thinking I remember that because I'll never forget. I was getting my hair cut, a couple years ago. I can't remember how long ago it was, but I was getting my hair cut, and there was a guy came into the salon, and he was showing these scissors to the beauticians, and they were $300 and something. And he had a financing plan, so they all kind of went, "Well, that's a little out of my budget." So when he left, I said, "Y'all need to go find the company that sells the Kai scissors for cutting hair." I couldn't remember the name of it, and I said, because I guarantee you they're going to be better than anything else you're probably going to buy.
Yeah, well, the tough part with that is I think 300 is probably the bottom for what Kai would do. The Kasho brand, they go up to like $1,200 for some of those.
I knew they were like super expensive.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, if they're going to buy $300 scissors of some off brand, you might as well get some that are going to be,
absolutely.
Be good.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it was. I remember that. So funny because people don't realize how expensive beauticians scissors are. Like when they use those are so expensive, and and those, that's why if you ever get somebody who cuts your hair, they protect their scissors like it's their kid.
Yeah, well, because then they also have to send it off to someone really special to do that sharpening.
Yeah,
without it for a long time, and it's just a hassle. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. So, well, hey, is anybody, Roger? Okay, it says, can the small serrated snips be sharpened?
So with other brands, it might be hard again to find someone that can do that. But again, with our brand, if you have a Kai brand scissor, any of our scissors that you have, you can send those into us, and we'll get them sharpened for you, serrated or not.
The next question from Paula Becker says, what size are the peaking shears?
Yeah, so we only make one size, and it's the 9-inch. So they're a pretty large size. They're making one scissor to fit all hand sizes, and so they are a little bit bigger for some of the ladies that have small hands. That is a comment I get pretty regularly. But yeah, full 9-inch scissor, something about this long. So right about that length.
Kathy's asking, does the rotary cutter come with extra blades?
So they do come with one blade on them. As far as getting extra blades go, at the shows and stuff, we have discounts for that. But no, they don't come with any extra blades if you were to buy them online or somewhere else. Just the one.
Devin, one of the features that you talked about on the Kai scissors, which I really do love, is being able to adjust the tension on them with that screw and the nut on it. Because I'm gonna tell you, if y'all have ever cut a lot, man, I tell you, if you've got arthritis or having any kind of hand problems, it kills your hands when something has too much tension, because you're having to spread it back open. You're having to use your hand, so much pressure to open the scissor back up.
Yeah.
So if you've got any kind of thumb problems or you've got joint or arthritis, I'm telling you, that's a killer.
Yeah.
These, I tell you, that's what I love about these scissors, because you can customize them basically to whatever pressure you want to use, and it is fantastic.
Yeah, people a lot of times at shows, if you find me with some downtime, where I'm not talking to a customer, please bring your scissor up to me, and we'll find that tension that works for you, because we set them oftentimes just for what we think will always work. So they might even be a little bit tighter than they need to be. And then for your particular case, we'll have the fabric sitting there on the table. We'll go ahead and I'll loosen them up, let you cut with them, see that they work for you. And then, kind of find that balancing point of where does the cut, how smooth can I get it for you and still have the scissor cut. So yeah, adjusting the tension is key if you want to, dial it in for your own personal use.
People don't think a lot about that. That's, until you actually start cutting.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it every single day, it is, a movement that you're not used to doing. So if the scissor's not right, it cramps your hand up. It's crazy how difficult cutting can be if you don't have the right tools.
Yeah, for sure. And then I wanted to highlight the lefties in particular. So lefties, we always leave pretty tight because of that natural tendency to pull in with your thumb and fight the scissor. And so we always leave those pretty tight. So if you can go ahead and afterwards loosen that up and find what works for you, I would definitely suggest that, because it's going to be a lot smoother if you can loosen that up. So,
Hey, Devin, we've got a quick question. How do they get a hold of you, or how do they send in their knives or scissors to get sharpened?
Yeah, so the best way to do that is to reach us through emails. That's going to be just go kaiscissors@gmail.com. So pretty easy, kaiscissors@gmail.com, and just inquire about sharpening. What we'll do is we'll send you a little form, and on that form, you can tell us what you're sending in, the return address, and how you'd like to pay. So if you're wanting to pay with credit card, you can just put your phone number in there. We'll give you a call for payment, or if you want to do check, you can put it in there as well. But it also, I don't want to scare anybody. On our form, it'll say it can take up to 8 weeks for your scissors to be sharpened. That is in one extreme case that happens about yearly. As I addressed before, we do have some industrial companies, and one of them is very large, and all of a sudden we get a shipment on a crate with over 1,000 scissors on it, unannounced. It just shows up, and suddenly we get backlogged. So that is the rare instance, if you are unlucky enough, where the 8 weeks might apply. What we try to do with them is do 50 of theirs and then get some of the orders done, 50 of theirs, get some orders done, to try and be fair to both parties. But that is the rare exception. Typically, it's going to be 1 to 2 weeks to get your scissors in and out from our facility.
Hey guys, if you don't mind too, when I found out that Kai Scissors made knives, a friend of mine is a distributor. I started collecting Kershaw's and zero tolerance knives. So I've got a whole collection. And let me tell you, these knives are so good quality. They make such great gifts. And here's my big camping knife. And this is a zero tolerance. Yeah. The blade quality, I tell you, stays sharp forever. No matter how much of a beating you put through it, they are great knives. So I just wanted to let
I don't ever get to talk about this stuff, so this is just a different world for me right now.
Yeah, they're amazing knives. So
I may have to send you my zero tolerance knife and let you sharpen it, Devin.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think I've cut way too many cardboard boxes, and it's starting to get dull.
Yeah, I have a Kershaw one. I haven't invested in the zero tolerance for myself yet, but yeah, my Kershaw one. My kids, we get a new dryer, and so we have a giant box, and it sits there for a month because I like to play in it. Cut that thing down into tiny pieces to go in my recycling, and now my knife's a little worse for wear.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the good thing about it. I know that I've got quite a few knives like Roger as well, and it's I guess it's just like scissors. You can go to Walmart and buy the old orange handled crappy scissors, for $7, $8. And they're going to be really nice and sharp when you first use them, just like a cheap knife.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, after use, they get dull so quick. And that's the difference I can tell between like the Kai scissors and the zero tolerance knives, is that edge stays so sharp and so good for so long.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm using to cut tape, cardboard boxes. That's the worst, you can do to dull a knife. And it stays sharp for a long, long time. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. We have a guy who locally, a friend of his works for us, and recently found out that we're really close to him. And now he's stopping in all the time looking for like, hey, did you get this new model? And so I'm like just starting to, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I'm just now, like within the last year, I've been talking knife stuff. So it's kind of cool to see that we're growing out there in that industry too.
I like what Joanne Banco just said. She goes, those are throwaway scissors. These are forever scissors.
Exactly.
That is 100% correct.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's too, is like, I will say, if you have like these little scissors like this, we sell these for, 16, 17 bucks. These guys, and we charge 10 bucks for sharpening. Your best option for something like this is don't throw it away. If you can see me at a show, let's trade them out. Like we can resharpen them. We can give them to we have like 4-H clubs and stuff that we work with where we'll give them return scissors and things like that. Let's get those recycled. And we'll get them traded out. You'll get a brand new pair of scissors because it's not worth us shipping to you and you shipping to us for a cheap pair of scissors.
Correct.
But it is nice to get it back into the ecosystem, sharpen it up, and give it to somebody who might need it just as a donation or something like that. So,
or what they could do, Devin, is just buy a new pair and then just donate the old ones to y'all to resharpen and give away to 4-H, and that'd be a great way to play it forward as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I know you being up there in Seattle, you probably a Seahawks fan, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. My family didn't watch football growing up, and so I think 2006. I'm not a great Seahawks fan. Let's put it that way. It's when we went to the Super Bowl against the Steelers. That year, I had been watching the Steelers with my best friend from school every week, going to his house, watching the Steelers. I was a Steelers fan. And then all of a sudden we had the game against each other in the Super Bowl. And I was like, I can't root against my home team. Like I can't do it. And so that solidified, all right, I'm a Seahawks fan for the rest of my life. So, yeah. So
well, I'll tell you what, I love your city when the sun is out and it's pretty. It's the most beautiful area. Yeah. But man, I tell you, I used to travel up there a lot, and half the time I'd go, it'd be cloudy, gloomy, raining, and cold.
Yeah, that was. We have another friend who comes up here from Arizona, and they said, they come up for the show in February, and they're like, "This was the first year we have ever seen the mountain. We've been doing this for 12 years, and this is the first time." Like they were surprised that it existed because it's so prominent. You just can't see it when it's cloudy.
It's
cloudy all the time.
I tell you, on clear days there is just absolutely beautiful. See Mount Rainier out there, and go take the ferry across the bay. It was just, I love it when it's really pretty. It's such a beautiful area.
Absolutely, yeah. I just got back from Cancun, so I got a little break from it. So that was nice.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, Devin, thank you so much for getting up early and taking some time and educating us about the scissors. It was awesome. And so I'm going to tell them how they can get some, and we'll see you again real soon, okay?
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye, buddy. All right, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed that. And did y'all learn something? That's the key thing. I learn something every time we do these shows about stuff. And Devin's been fantastic. His owner, Jeff, I've known him for many, many years, and seen him at shows, and the products they have are just fantastic. And I think Joanne said it the best. It is a forever scissor. It's an investment, and they're going to last you forever. All you have to do is take care of them, and don't let your husbands or somebody like me grab them and start cutting paper and cardboard. That'll get them dull pretty quick, I tell you.
I'm guilty. That's here.
I am so guilty, Roger. I'll never forget one day I was in the retail store and grabbed a pair, and I don't remember what I was cutting it, and I got scalded
Yeah.
so hard by two different people. They just went off on me about it.
I
And I was
remember
like, oh, my bad. You
I
know,
remember Deb when I was cutting some office paper, and she came in. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was
well, I
like,
know it's that's the mortal sin is to use
Yes.
nice sewing scissors to cut other things other than fabric. But I tell
Yeah.
you what, also
So,
those little snips that are the offset.
yes.
Oh my gosh, those things, like when I would do all the
They're
quilting
sharp.
demonstrations at trade shows, after you pick up your bobbin thread to cut that thread, oh my gosh, those things are just so, because they're long, they're a little longer
Yeah.
than just like a little snip, and you can just do it so easy. Just slide them under there and hit, cut the little thread tails, and so I always had a pair of those at every show when I would demonstrate all the robotic quilting and everything. And so yeah, those things are awesome as well. But man, we've got a great lineup. So I want to tell everybody too, Roger right now is in the process of getting all the Kai line of scissors up. Now, not everything is up yet. We do have a bunch up, but we're going to be adding to that. So if you're looking for one and you don't see it on our website, contact us and say, hey, get Roger to get that up so I can buy it. And he'll stop what he's doing and get one of them up if we're missing it. But we do have a pretty good lineup already on there, but we're going to be expanding that just to let y'all know. But anyway, but we got some specials today. Now, y'all going to have to trust me on this. It's a hint, hint, wink, wink situation. You got to call in to get these specials today because we can't show the actual price online, but you can call in and tell them you want the Stitch Nation deal. So, Roger, you want to show what we've got today up there? So these, if you look at those are the Kai 5100 4-inch scissors, and then we have the 5100C, which is the curved tip. 1650 on both of those. If you're interested in these, give us a call and you'll get the Stitch Nation price. All right, next up is the 5130C, which is the 5-inch double curved embroidery scissors. And again, $21 is the normal price on that. And Roger, what's the next one? All right, so these are the 5.5-inch. This is the V5135 embroidery scissors. And then we have the N5135. The 5135s are $20. The V5135 are $20. The N is $19. And again, all these are on our website. If y'all want to go check the website out, just go to siiistore.com. In the search bar, just type in Kai scissors and it'll take you to that page. All right, Roger, let's put that other one up. Okay, now this is the 6.5-inch. These are the 5165. And again, you have the V and you have the N on these. The V version is $24 and the N is $21.
Hey, Blaine.
Yeah.
I think we should add that. I think, and I think they can correct me if I'm wrong, but all the pink V versions come with a sheath, so a protector cover.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. So, my bad. I should have said that. So that's the difference between them. You're getting that protector, and I would highly recommend the protector because it just protects your scissors and protects you. Because I'm telling you, when you get a good pair of sharp scissors,
oh, they're sharp.
Man, I tell you what, you got to be a little, cautious around them. Just don't be scared of them, but just be cautious because they can cut you. All right, Roger. What next one up is the 8-inch. This is the 5210, and again, we have the two versions of these: one with the cover, one without. The V are the covers. The N is one without the cover. The V version is $27. The N version is $24. And then I think we got one more, Roger. The 9-inch.
We've got 3 more.
Handle. Pardon me?
We've got 3 more, including this
one.
one.
3 more. Okay. I couldn't remember how many we had we're showing today. All right, so these are the 5230 with they're 9-inch with the bent handled scissors. And again, same thing. The V versions are the ones with the sheath on it, the cover for the blades, and the end is without. $33 for the V and $27.50 for the N. Now, this is my personal favorite, Roger. The 5230.
Yeah, those
I
are
really
nice.
like these.
Very ergonomic.
Yeah, they're so good at cutting. All right, next one. This is the 9-inch, the 7230, and the 7250 10-inch. Now, these are the professional shears, as they call them. And again, now you're getting up into that professional level. 7230 is going to be $68. The 7250 is $73. All right, next, Roger. And this is the pinking shears that we were talking about. These are the 9-inch. This is the only size the pinking shears come in. They're $60, and the number on that's N5350. Now, I know many of y'all have these out there and use them. People absolutely love these things.
There's
and
a lot of comments on these today.
Yeah,
So,
you know, and the thing, Roger, on these, I noticed somebody said something about, you know, what size? I don't think you'd want them any smaller because these things, they have a lot of weight to them. They're balanced extremely well. And I tell you, when you cut with a good scissor, it is just so much different. I mean, I can just tell you, if you've ever used a cheap pair of scissors, and I always just say the Orange Channel Walmart scissors. I mean, I'm sure there's, you know, a lot of other brands out there that are not the Walmart, but if you ever just use a type of scissor like that, and then you get a pair of these that have that little bit of extra weight with that good edge, it is just so much different. I mean, it's effortless to cut with it.
And I'll tell you what, Blaine, I actually have these pinking scissors. My mom picked them up from a garage sale.
Really?
I use them, and this is going to be sacrilege, to cut the edge of photos for albums. So I don't know if I should be using that for that purpose, but
you're going to probably have to be sending them to Devin before long, get them sharpened if you're using them cut.
They're an old pair, well used, so very good pair.
Yeah, they are all that way. You can just tell when you get a good pair of scissors. All right, is that the last one, Roger? We have one more.
That was the last
one. Okay. All right. So again, y'all call in, and you know, we have, and the best way to do it is just go look at the website, pick out the one you're wanting, and call in, 888-571-2171, and just tell them, hey, you want the Stitch Nation special today, and you can get those. And I tell you what, you're not going to be disappointed in them. And what's so nice about these, let's say that it's 6 years down the line, and your scissors are starting to get a little duller. You've noticed a little bit of difference. It's pulling the fabric a little bit. Guess what? You know, you can even call us if you forget where you need to send them. We'll get you lined up with Devin, and you can actually just ship your scissors out there. He's going to sharpen them and send them back to you all for $10. And I'm telling you, you cannot beat that, because I can tell you from experience, we used to do scissor sharpening in our retail stores, and we charged $25, and you had to actually bring them in person. So this is $10 is an unbelievable bargain for that. Plus they're going to pay to ship them back to you like that. That is so good. And they're going to do a great job because they have the professional tooling to do the sharpening. And so you can't beat this. It's such a good deal. And then even what Devin offered to, if you come to a show, and even if you have the little small scissors, he'll just trade them out for you. I mean, that is a great deal. So, but again, you can always just buy another pair, send them into him to donate them. And that would be a good deal, because they're only, $15, $16, those little ones. So that'd be a great deal. All right. Has anybody got any questions? It says that is a great price for sharpening. It sure is. Call for special only. Yes, you have to call in. Now, you can go ahead and shop online and see the ones you want and kind of get an idea of which ones, but you have to call in to get the special deal. So just going to let y'all know that you have to call in to get that deal, because we don't have it on the website for the special today. All right. Yeah, Roger, is there any other questions y'all have maybe about the scissors? Cutting mats.
Cindy, we don't have the
They're not up yet.
cutting mats up yet, but if you give us a call, we could probably get those ordered.
Yeah, we will have them. We just haven't got there yet. So we were just trying to get enough stuff up. Roger and his team has been working behind the scenes trying to get products up, and they're working hard. Okay, the deals are all the way through the end of this month. So April the 30th, the deal goes off, and but you got all the way till the 30th. Y'all can still call in and get that deal on the scissors. And then I'll also tell you right now, the scissors, there may be a delay if you order them today. There may be a little bit of delay because we haven't received our order yet from Kai, but we should be getting our order in pretty quick. So just be patient. We will get you fixed up. And do you carry the rotor blades? We're going to sell everything that they have. We'll have all that, but a lot of that stuff is just not up on the website yet. So the rotary blades are not on the website, Dan, but they will be. So, all right, Cindy, I just never knew they had them. I can't wait until y'all get them. Well, thank you, Cindy. It's amazing what a lot of these companies have that sometimes you don't even know until you see it on these shows. So that's why y'all need to come and make sure you tune in every Wednesday. Isn't it, Roger?
Yes, definitely.
Tune in every Wednesday because you're going to learn something. All right. If there's not any other questions about the products today, let's do some giveaways, Roger.
I think that's a great idea, Blaine. And we've got a great giveaway today. So
we got several good giveaways. First thing we're going to do is give away a embroidery starter kit. We're going to start out with a big one. This is a $200 value. You see it right there. You're going to get 18 spools of 3,000 meter isocord thread in those colors that you see right there. You're going to get 2 packs of bobbins, 2 packs of needles. You're going to get that embroidery stabilizer book, and then you're going to get the sample stabilizers, and then you're going to get the little thread nippers. You're going to get some of those. So Roger, you got that wheel ready to go?
Yes, I do. Let's
all right. Well, let's spin it. Get us a winner.
Good luck, everybody. And the winner of the embroidery bundle today is Mountain Professor. I like that name. Congratulations, Professor.
I gotta know what these names mean.
I love these names.
I know. Mountain Professor, when you claim your prize today, when you send us an email, tell us the definition of Mountain Professor. Do you live in the mountains, and are you a professor, or are you just a professor of the mountain?
I gotta
know. Gotta know, Roger.
A professor fishing for trout at the mountain streams. So that's what I'm picturing right now. Congratulations, Mountain Professor.
Roger's the fishing professor.
I am so addicted.
All right, so here's how you're going to claim your prize, Mountain Professor. They, I should say, are watching from YouTube today. And so what we need you to do is go to your email, send us an email to info@stitchitintl.com, and let us know your full name, your shipping address, phone number, all that good stuff. And just put in there that you won the embroidery starter kit, and we'll get it shipped out to you. All right, Roger, let's give a vest away.
Okay.
It's still somewhat vest weather in some places.
Let's do the gray vest.
Okay, let's do the gray vest. Now, just going to let y'all know ahead of time, we're getting low in some sizes of the vest. So if we don't have your size in this, we'll probably just send you an email and say, hey, look, we didn't have the gray. We'll trade it with something that we do have in your size. So anyway, we're going to do this and we'll let you choose your logo. You can do the Sewing Coffee chocolate logo or the Crazy Sewing Lady logo. We'll let you pick that. But these come in women's sizes, small through XXX. So just let us know your size as well. All right, Roger, spin that wheel.
Spinning.
The spinning tool's not on the screen,
It's
Roger.
not on the screen. I apologize. There you go.
There it is.
You know me. Congratulations.
Watching from Facebook today. That's our buddy in New York. So, hey, you know me. All right. She just won her a vest. So, you know me. You know the drill. Send us an email to info@stitchitintl.com. Let us know what size you want and what logo you want, and we will get that done for you. Roger, got to tell you, you know our new logo, the Stitch Nation logo?
Yes, this one?
It's all done. And
Nice.
I got to say a big shout out to Dawn Chase at Creative Applique. She digitized it for us. And y'all see it right there. We've got it done, and we're getting ready to sew a sample out. I think they're doing it today, and
Awesome.
we'll see what it looks like. And then once I'm, happy with the way it looks, we're going to even offer that for you as well if y'all want to get that put on one of the swag stuff if you win it.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah. So yeah, it looked great. All right. Next up, let's give away a jean jacket.
Jean jacket.
There it is. We're going to let you have your choice of logos on the back. And y'all saw Cindy King's video of her getting hers. And it looks just like that. Those are nice jackets. And the embroidery is pretty cool on the back. So you can pick which logo you want, Crazy Sewing Lady or the coffee one. And so, Roger, spin that wheel. Now, I got to tell y'all, this one, we only have medium through extra large in the women's, and I do have some men's sizes, so we can work that out. If you need a bigger than an extra large, we might be able to do it. So Elaine Gibson,
congratulations
watching today from Facebook. Congratulations, Elaine. All right, Elaine, send us an email to info@stitchitintl.com. Let us know your size, all your full shipping address, all that good stuff, your phone number, and let us know what you won, and we'll get all that processed and get it ready to go. And also let us know which logo you want and the size. All right, this is our big daddy today. Let's do the Kai scissors. Somebody's going to get this one. It's $156 value. You're going to get, it's the G77 Professional Series 3-piece scissor gift set. And I think Devin showed y'all that in the box. He had that little gift set up there. Includes the 4 1/4 inch, the 6-inch, and the 8-inch shears. Great gift set. And we're going to give one of these away.
That's awesome. Good luck.
It is. Yeah, good luck on this one. All right, Roger, let's spin that wheel.
And our winner is...
We didn't have spinning music on.
No, I forgot that one today. Joyce Adams, 1852. Congratulations, Joyce.
Joyce Adams, watching today from YouTube. So, yes, congratulations, Joyce. You got a great scissor set.
Yes.
So, Joyce, to claim that prize, send me an email to info@stitchitintl.com. Let us know your full name, shipping address, phone number, and we'll get that sent out to you. Awesome. Well, I learned a lot today, Roger.
That was a lot of knowledge.
I do. I always learn something, about that. And, just the different things that he talked about. It's just, it's always, you don't realize until you get that good professional equipment, how much difference it makes.
Yes. The first time I ever used Kai scissors, I was cutting thread, and usually with regular scissors, when I try to do that, and even the braided fishing line, it always bends into the blade, and it doesn't cut, and the first time I used the Kai scissors, it just snipped it right away, so clean. And usually you pull threads out, and it starts to trail, but with the Kai scissors, the thread was cut so clean, I couldn't believe it.
Something he said too, how he talked about it's concave, the blades, and it's just where the blade part hits and not the big, facing.
And it makes
you want to talk about that face doesn't hit. And I tell you how you can tell that is if you have the scissors and you just are doing this you actually, it sounds like, have you ever heard of the movie effect when they have a sword and they pull out?
Yeah.
How they, you know how that sound?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fake sound that they do, but that's almost the sound you get when you do those scissors, is that those blades, just the edge parts rubbing, you hear that. It almost reminds me of that pulling the sword out.
Yes.
That makes
It's almost
sense.
like the paper cutter that you go down with.
Yeah.
But don't cut paper with them.
Yeah, don't cut paper. Awesome. All right, guys. Anyway, thank y'all for joining today. And I want to remind everybody, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go subscribe. Hit that bell notification on there so you'll get notified when we're going to have live shows. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, even if you're watching it on YouTube, still go like the Facebook page and be part of that. And guess what? We got a Facebook group.
Yes. So please look up Stitch Nation and join today. We're looking for some pretty good moderators, and we're hoping to grow that group.
Yep. So we're going to have our group. It's a great place to discuss projects that you're doing. We're going to have specials that we're going to put in there occasionally just for the group. They're the only ones that can get it. And so go join that today if you can. It's just called Stitch Nation. It's named after y'all. And so we got all that done. And then also on the SWF side of the house, we got the SWF Facebook page up. Their YouTube channel is up. Go like the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the SWF USA YouTube channel. Go like our Facebook page. And we've got a group on that as well. So that information will be on that page. You can go sign up for the SWF USA group. So keep in the know of all the embroidery stuff.
Also, Blaine, if you haven't signed up for our emails already, there's actually a very good email going out today for our spring set. So if you haven't already, go ahead and sign up. I think the email will be going out in a few hours. And you'll be able to get that special today. And that special will go on until the end of the month. So all you have to do to sign up is go to our website, scroll all the way to the bottom, and enter your email.
And the great thing about it coming up, too, I think everybody ought to treat themselves with a little Mother's Day gift and buy some Kai scissors for Mother's Day. It's coming up.
Yeah.
It's going to be here 1st of May.
Not just for Mother's Day, for Father's Day. If you have somebody that loves fishing or loves to use shears the way they're not supposed to, it'll be a great present.
Yeah, Father's Day coming up in June. It's coming up pretty quick. But Mother's Day, I don't know what day it's on. I know it's always around my birthday. My birthday is May the 11th. And it's usually always around my birthday. So what day is it?
Somebody in the comments tell us today. I'm
9th or something like that.
I'm so bad with dates. I believe it's May 10th.
May 10th. So it's the day before my birthday this time.
Yep,
okay. I knew it's always around it, So, but yeah. And then we're going to have the birthday bash show on the 13th. And so y'all want to make sure y'all tune in for that because it's going to be pretty good. But next week, hey, we're going to have Butler Robotics here. We're going to have Aubrey Hartman here and going to do some things. So we'll have some fun there. We're going to have some specials on some robotics and things. So it'll be good. Those were going up so fast. The comments, I couldn't see them, right?
So sorry. We had some May 10th. So Cindy was saying it's May 10th. Awesome show. Thank you, Devin, for a great demo. Which, yes, thank you, Devin.
Great, Devin. Yep, great demo, Devin. Very good. All right. Well, guys, thank y'all so much for joining in and being part of the Stitch Nation. We hope that y'all will continue to hang out with us. We enjoy this and hope that y'all have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend and come back and see us Wednesday next week. Roger and I'll be here at 10 a.m. So until then, we'll see you later.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.